Coming up,
My belief is most people are extraordinary. They have something in them that makes them uniquely extraordinary. Go find it. Don't give yourself an excuse to not find it.
And there you are. So good to see you, Hidden Nation. Welcome to the studio. You got Josh Carey right here. It's your hidden entrepreneur. Today, Hidden Nation, we're talking about a variety of things, all encompassed under the sales and marketing and customer acquisition umbrella. We're joined by the CEO of Cydcor, Vera Quinn. Cydcor, I've learned, is a very fascinating business. It's one of those businesses where you probably have multiple times in your life come in contact with and have not even realized it. We're going to pull the curtain back on all of this. Vera, welcome to the program.
Thanks, Josh. Thanks for having me. I'm looking forward to this.
I also want to start with the idea that, yes, today you're 5 years into your role as CEO, but you were telling me the company is about 30 years old. And from very early on in that 3-decade-long venture, you actually started as a sales rep in this very company and over time moved right up the ladder. So I want to talk about that whole path. But first, Sidcor, you were telling me you work with big brands, Fortune 500 companies like the AT&Ts of the world. What exactly do you help them do?
So we obviously help them with brand recognition. A sales rep will probably talk to 50 people a day. And, we have 4,300 sales reps. So there's brand recognition and then customer acquisition. Depending on what is available to you in your geography, we talk to, you as a consumer about the products and services that the brand has to offer you. We give the customers pretty incredible, rates and promotions, and we acquire customers in a way it's difficult for them to find those customers in other ways.
You've worked with this company for 30 years, started in the field, worked your way up to CEO. Did you see it coming? Was this
Yeah.
a plan? How in the world? How did that's a long time in one company, and now you're running the company. What a
Yeah.
journey.
Yeah, it has been an incredible journey. No, I did not see it coming. I answered an ad in a newspaper, which I'm sure dates me. And the ad said, "Have fun, make money." And I thought, great,
Two things. I like them both.
I do too.
Yeah.
Then I went in for an interview, still didn't really know what I was going to be doing. And then I went into the field for my day of observation. Um, and I thought it was interesting. It's a merit-based business. Pitch was pretty simple. They had people to train you and teach you what to say to customers. I could work as hard or as not as hard as I wanted to and make as much or as little money as I put in for that day.
Hmm.
Uh, my dad's an entrepreneur, so I thought, oh, this is going to be a great summer job.
Great. Cut to now you're running the whole thing. 4,300 sales reps. These are people, just for further clarification. They'll go to public spaces, big box retailers, and represent the company, and then offer the product or service to basically sign up on the spot.
Yes, yeah. So we talk to customers in retailers, we talk to them at their home,
Hmm.
and we talk to them at their businesses. And the way it works is we have independently owned sales offices, and they recruit and employ the sales reps. So that, in
Wow.
Atlanta, Georgia, there may be 10 sales offices. They recruit and employ the sales reps, they train them, and we're the broker. We're the back end of the business with the contracts with the Fortune 500.
What talk to me, but let's get into the sales aspect, because you must know a thing or two about sales, and I'm sure whether they're doing that kind or any other kind, there's all kinds of best practices. What are the best practices? Because you're talking about door to door, you're talking about direct sales in person, when these people out and about aren't even in the market for this thing. So what are the best tips you can give the listener that sort of work universally in the sales arena?
Yeah, so I mean, for me, it's It's uncovering a need with the customer. We are offering services that are very important to them, and we're offering services to them at a promotional price. So we're helping the customer. To me, a best practice is, hey, I'm going to tell you what I have. I'm going to try and uncover whether or not there's a need. If there
Mm.
isn't, no big deal. I'm out. I'm going to go speak to somebody else. And I do that quickly. I'm not here to pressure a customer. I know 100% in a day, I will find one or two people that I can help. I'm going to be able to save them money. I'm going to give them a better service. And I'll be able to help them. And I feel great about the commission I made that day. And I walk away. So best practice to me, it's how many people can I see?
Numbers.
Numbers. It's all about how many people do I talk to? Can I quickly uncover a need? And if there's no need, walk away. Not today. You just and go find the person where this is an incredible service and deal for.
You've done door to door personally?
I have. I have.
I always hear people who have done door to door, they're always extremely successful in their line of business. Do
Hmm.
you credit that as something that helped you learn and succeed?
Yeah, so you speak to 50 people at their home a day, and you do that for enough time, there are a few things that you learn. Who do I want to be when I grow up? I see a lot of people, and I saw a lot of people in the field. Who did I want to be like? Who's answering the door with a big smile on their face, whether they buy from me or not? Who's not? What kind of neighborhoods am I in? How do people treat their families? It was like fascinating, like experiment even. People come home from work. How do they come home from work? Are they happy? Are they upset? What does their yard look like? What is their relationship to their neighbors? I learned a ton about who I wanted to be and how I wanted to live.
Is that
Now, when somebody knocks on my door, like 100% of the time, I'm saying yes to whatever, and I treat them well. I'm very conscious of how I show up.
wow? How is the path you took from entry level in the company to now 30 years later running the company? What were the stepping stones? You grew and then you were offered the position? Like how did that twist of
Yeah.
fate occur?
Yeah. So I was in the field side of the business,
Yeah.
obviously. I'm in sales and I did 3 summers and then I moved into recruiting. So I worked with one of these independently owned offices and I recruited. And we, in 3 years, put out 23 of these
Oh
businesses.
wow.
And I developed a relationship with the founder of Sidcor. We were in the same city. Sidcor used to be in Toronto. And, we'd see each other at meetings and stuff. There was a project I worked with him on. And then I had my own business doing accounting and bookkeeping for these ICLs. And I was working at Sidcor part-time. And I started to learn about clients. I started to learn about, finance. I started to learn about how these people got paid, like the back end of the business. The business took on a new CEO, Gary Polson, and it was going to move. He's from Southern California, so it moved from Toronto to California. And he offered me to go. I did I was on a visa and I thought, I'll do 3 years. This is going to be like a mini MBA. He was a very accomplished business person. I wasn't around those people. I was in the sales side of the business. So I thought I'm going to learn something. How do you build a business? My visa's, coming due. And I remember Gary saying to me, what are you going to do? Are you staying or are you going? Well, I'm Eastern European. My whole family's in Toronto. We don't leave. Like my sister, my brother, my parents, they all live within 1 block from each
Mm.
other. We don't leave home. I said, no, I'm going to go back. And about 31 at the time, and he said, you ever thought about running this place? And I said, no, not even once, not even one time, actually. And then I thought, if I wanted to be the CEO, who would I have to become?
Okay. Go on.
And so I spent 15 years gathering the skills it would take to run a business like this. And October 2020, I became the CEO.
COVID.
COVID, face-to-face business. Yes,
So he asked you that question 15 years prior to that?
20 years. Yeah,
20 years prior to that,
yeah,
he planted the seed.
yeah.
And
And then
that's what, yeah,
that was the stepping stone. No, I never thought I didn't. And then I thought, well, why not? Why couldn't I? What would I need to
why
learn? Yeah, why couldn't I be the CEO?
I love the question you asked yourself, who would I need to become?
Right. Because I didn't know. I looked at Gary. Gary had all this experience, all this knowledge, and I thought, well, I don't have that. Oh, okay. So, if I want to be CEO of a big business, I probably need to learn finance. And I took a 6-month course at
Mm.
SC and finance and accounting. And I thought, okay. And I worked with our CFO, and I thought, okay, I need to be better at this. I didn't really know how to negotiate with clients. What is that going to look like? I took a class at UCLA, a negotiations class. I did a lot of reading. I went to a lot of school. I got a lot of hands-on experience because I moved around the business a lot. Um, and I thought, okay, well, I may or may not become the CEO. It's not like he promised me I would, but I want to get ready. And yeah, and so October 2020, here we are.
Again, the idea of who do I need to become really resonates because I live in the personal growth and development world a lot, and I take responsibility for who I am, what I'm doing, and where those gaps are. Much of like what you're talking about. You said, "Oh, well, if I want this, I know that these are the gaps, so let me start filling them." And I've heard it's about becoming the person who is capable of achieving the kind of success you want. And we all lay in bed envisioning and planning and dreaming and having goals, but that's sometimes where it stops. We need that self-assessment to say, what am I missing currently to become that person capable of achieving that? And that's what you did.
Well, I think isn't that life? I mean, I started therapy because I read a book, The Wonder of Boys. I have a son, and I remember he's 10 years old, and I read this book, and I'm like, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do what this book is telling me to do. I didn't have that example. And the book was about raising a son that could detach from, their parents and become a great man for his family. And I'm like, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to raise him this way. So okay, let's go to therapy and let's figure out how I become a better parent so that he can be healthy when he goes to live his life. I think that's life, right? If I want to be
It is.
a great spouse, I don't, there's no handbook, right? Or if there is, I better go read it.
That's right.
How do I become the best version of me for my husband?
We're saying it matter of factly, and it doesn't deserve more than a matter of fact discussion of, well, isn't that life? Isn't that the way that it needs to work? Unfortunately, most people, whether they admit that or not, are not approaching it like that. They're going to look on the outside and look at all the reasons and blame and complain, which just really plants them firmly where they are without ever moving forward. So it's just two sides of the same coin. Which side are you on? You're either ready, willing, and able to approach and go, or not.
Josh, that's a hard way to live, I think, because all of your power is gone,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if I'm always looking outside, then I have no power. And
Oh, right.
I can't,
Change.
yeah. And maybe sales taught me that, but to me, no, I influence everything in my life. I am the thing that makes my life move. So if I'm not getting the outcome I want, I need to go look in the mirror and say, what am I not doing?
But what if it's that person or that thing or that circumstance?
But it isn't ever. It's always me. I'm the only thing I can change. So if it's a person I'm having an issue with, well, it's probably my approach to that person. I can't expect them to be different. I need to figure out how to be different to get a different outcome with that person. I, th- that's the way I look at life.
That's right.
That's,
That's good. Me too.
yeah.
That's what we're in agreement with. And
Yeah.
that's what I try to preach as often as possible. That you have the two choices. You can either look outside and, blame and complain, or you can say, well, wait. It's on me. I can do something about it. What am I going to do something about? And I
Yeah.
love filling in those gaps.
I think that that's the way you keep your power.
Mhm. So this company, you're running the show now. What is the future vision? Where are you going? What's happening in that industry in your world?
I think customer acquisition is getting harder. I don't know about you, but when you get a phone call on your cell phone, you're probably not picking it up.
Mm-hmm.
I think AI is going to be an incredible disruptor for digital customer acquisition. I just read an article that ChatGPT is going to become more popular than Google search. So when you think about how companies are going to acquire customers, there's a lot of noise, right? I'm not picking up my phone anymore, and digitally, I'm going to not be as accessible. So the clickbait and the ads, right? Because I'm on chat. So the power of our business and face-to-face interaction and explaining to a customer why this service makes sense to them, I believe only grows the noisier our world gets. So we specialize in telecom, we specialize in energy, we specialize in office supplies. I think that there's going to be massive, massive, massive opportunity in who's going to explain to small businesses AI. I think that's a niche we can fill. And there will be products and services around that technology that I believe we're 100% geared towards explaining to small businesses. Um, I think if you want to get in front of a customer, I think it's going to take a person to be able to explain it. So I feel really hopeful. I'm super excited about the future in customer acquisition. I think we're just going to continue to grow. And you know what the biggest example to me is? Apple. If you go to a mall, that store is always busy. But everything I can do on my phone. Why don't I? Because people like talking to smart people that can explain things to them. And we have a lot of really smart people that can explain things to people in a simple way. Why is this product or service good for you in your home, for you in your business? Um, I see a lot of growth.
Before we wrap up, can you frame the business model portion of Sidcor for the listener in the entrepreneurial slant with sort of setting up their own business entity? How does
Yeah.
that work?
So we're the broker, right? Sidcor is the broker. We go and we get the clients and we set up the infrastructure. We're on the back end. We're behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
You have an ICL, independent corporate licensee, and they are a small business in a city, in let's say Atlanta. And what they're doing is because of their relationship with us, now have a relationship with, let's say, AT&T, and they have these sales targets that they need to go get. Well, they're hiring, they're recruiting, they're training, they're developing. What happens is once you come in as a sales rep, if you come in and your goal is to become an entrepreneur and run one of these ICLs, great. You have to build a team and then you get incorporated, you move to a different city, and now you're running your own business. It's a merit-based, 100% merit-based. Your ability to help other people do well in the business and build a team.
Hmm.
And then what happens is you've been in our system, we will give you a contract with AT&T and you can go build your business as big as you want in whatever city you want in the United States.
That's fascinating. I love so much of that. Like I started at the top of the show, that it's just one of these things that you come in contact with day in and day out, but you never really stop to pull back the curtain and say, well, how did this come to be, right? Like, I love that. I'm always curious about that. Well, who's behind this? Who hired you? Who are you working for? How is this happening? This is fantastic. Vera, leave us with, for the listener, what is the overriding message you have for them today as they go about their day? What do you want them to take with them?
What do I want? Okay, I think I'm going to go back to something we talked about. My belief is most people are extraordinary. They have something in them that makes them uniquely extraordinary. Go find it. Don't give yourself an excuse to not find it.
I love it. I love everything about what you're doing, what you're up to, what we spoke about. Vera Quinn, CEO of Sidcor. Go check it out. A lot of opportunity. Thank you for joining the program today.
Thanks for having me. This is fun.